The gates of Rome creak open to strangers. Torches bloom along the marble streets. No legion marches back. In 3 nights, the city that named an empire will learn fear. And the world will ask, how did a titan forget how to stand? At its height, Rome ruled from fog-bound Britannia to sunlit Nile deltas, a web of roads, laws, and grain. Yet scale is a burden. Every mile of wall, every river frontier asked the same question. Can a center feed so many edges when storms gather? Warlords, plagues, near collapse. Diocletian split power into 4, taxed more precisely, and bound professions to posts. It worked. Briefly. The cure hardened arteries. Order restored, but flexibility traded for brittle control. Constantine crowned a new sun over an old world. He bet on the East, Bosporus winds, busy seas, naming Constantinople a second Rome. Wealth and soldiers drifted that way. Faith changed, too. Bishops joined the imperial chorus, uniting and dividing hearts. Beyond the Rhine and Danube, tribes moved like storm fronts. Climate shifts, hungry mouths, and a new terror, the Huns, pressed Goths toward Roman lines. In 376, starving families begged to cross the Danube, not as raiders, but as refugees with spears. Promises soured into extortion. Roman officers sold dog meat at gold prices. Rage exploded. Near Adrianople, Emperor Valens charged without waiting for aid. The Gothic cavalry smashed the line. Smoke, sun, and chaos drank a ruler's life. A hinge groaned.
Theodosius I chose stitching over smashing. He signed the Goths as federates, paid allies on Roman soil, loyal on paper. Camps sprouted within provinces. Latin orders met Gothic councils. Rome's shield grew broader and thinner, held together by coin and pride. One man, Stilicho, half Vandal, all Roman steel, held Italy through cunning campaigns. But in Ravenna's marsh-shadowed court, whispers killed faster than arrows. Emperor Honorius watched as rivals executed his general. With Stilicho fell the last seasoned hand on the tiller. Alaric, once a Roman recruit, now king of the Visigoths, wanted land and legitimacy, not ruins. Denied, he marched on Italy. Rome starved behind walls, then paid a ransom of gold, silk, and pepper. The world tasted irony. The wolf begged at its own door. Then the locks failed. On a moonless August night, 410, slaves opened a gate. Visigoths flooded in. For 3 days they looted, prayed, and wept in the same streets. Marble echoed with boots. The city lived, but its aura, untouchable for 8 centuries, crept. An empire is a logistics machine. Mines slowed, coin clipped thinner, estates swallowed peasant plots. Officials squeezed taxes from empty granaries. Roads, once swept daily by sandals and wheels, rusted at the edges. Repair bills rose, while trust, the easiest currency, fell. On a rainy edge of the map, Britannia wrote to beg help. None came. In 410, imperial authority simply withdrew. Towns turned to their own walls, villas to their own swords. The frontier did not explode. It quietly stopped answering to Rome. Across the winter straits, Vandals under Genseric crossed to Africa. They took Carthage, and with it, the empire's breadbasket and shipyards. Grain once drifting to the Tiber sailed elsewhere. Rome's stomach growled. Her navy, never her pride, became a rumor. Attila. His riders sowed terror from the Danube to Gaul. Coalitions rose. At the Catalonian plains, Roman and barbarians stood shoulder to shoulder to halt him.
He turned from Italy after a parley with Pope Leo, but famine and plague spoke louder. Power pooled in strange hands. Ricimer, a general without a crown, made and unmade emperors like seasons. Civil war gnawed provinces bare. Every revolt lured frontier troops home, leaving gaps. Outsiders filled them, not as invaders, but as managers of abandoned space. Eastward, Constantinople's double walls and deep coffers outlasted sieges. Silk routes and steady taxes fed disciplined armies. When the West begged for fleets or gold, the East calculated. One empire in name, two in fate. Marble there set firmer than in Italy's mud. At last, theater. The officer Orestes toppled a puppet and raised his own boy, Romulus. Augustulus, little Augustus. Soldiers demanded land in Italy as pay. Orestes refused. The man who asked next was Odoacer, tall, disciplined, done with illusions.
In 476, Odoacer's troops broke Pavia, cut down Orestes, and entered Ravenna's lagoon-ringed court. He spared the boy and sent the imperial regalia east to Constantinople. No thundering finale, just a quiet administrative change. Rome woke up a kingdom smaller. Did Rome fall or molt? Latin bent into Romance tongues. Bishops brokered peace. Roman law survived in dusty codices and living courts. Baths cooled, but aqueduct arches still walked the hills. The calendar turned, and habits outlived the emperors who named them. Centuries later, new rulers tried on old titles, and laws were saved in ink. Yet the question lingers like incense. What keeps a world standing? Walls, coins, or consent? Rome answers from the ruins. Everything breaks. Only what adapts changes shape and endures.